Hello, I'm Bugsicle. My pronouns are he, him, and today we are gonna do a sketchbook tour. And I know basically nothing about this sketchbook. I couldn't tell you the brand or how thick the paper is or even where I got it because I don't remember. And there is no information on it anywhere. It's around 240 pages of pretty flimsy paper. It can take like one layer of acrylic paint marker without pilling. But like if you use just like a regular pen in it, you will be able to see the drawing on the other side of it. That's how thin it is. So I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm not going to be buying it again. I couldn't even if I wanted to because I don't know where I got it. Um, but I just finished it and I'm very excited to show it off. I recently started numbering my sketchbooks, inspired by Sketches of Shay. So this is number 6, but I still consider it the first one I've truly finished and like filled up. I'm pretty embarrassed about like the first half of this sketchbook, so I'm just gonna kind of try to breeze through it. I say try because I think I could talk about my drawings forever if you let me. Let's begin. We have, again, the number, and the start date and the end date. I don't have a specific start date. I only have the month and the year. So I timed it specifically so I would finish it in pretty much exactly 3 years. As far as starting pages go, like this one is decent. It's not too bad. It gets worse, so much worse. And some thumbnail sketches for said first page, and what looks like a bloody wound. It's supposed to be a field poking through clouds. It does not look like that. Some Minecraft bases, some head practice. This was inspired by the Mystery Shack. It's like a concept of the Mystery Shack getting up and walking away. I had just watched Gravity Falls at this point, and it is, in fact, as good as everybody says it is. Trying to draw the same face multiple times failed extremely hard. I still can't do it. Trying to practice drawing people, so I just went on TikTok and I drew random people I came across. This is Sound of the Forest. I remember that specifically. I don't remember anybody else. I remember her though. And more Minecraft houses. More Minecraft base planning. This was a concept for my YouTube banner. I still really like this concept, I just have not been able to make it into a digital drawing. It just doesn't translate for some reason. These pieces that you see, like pages cut out, also here, is because I actually made something good. And then I cut it out and I glued it into my Pretty Girl sketchbook, which I have now retired. So you're truly seeing the worst of the worst. This was a art collab that just never really went anywhere, which is kind of sad. A biblically accurate jellyfish, I guess. This was a small TikTok series I did because my left hand was in so much pain that I physically couldn't draw, so I drew these with my right hand as well. It's funny because the first one is still my favorite. These ones are not bad. These were sketches for a birthday card I made for my mom. I did for a long time consider cutting this page out and gluing it into my other sketchbook. I can't remember why I didn't. Oh, we have the first date, September 7th, 2023. I think this is like one of the only ones here. These were inspired by the way Blackbean CMS draws faces. I think it's really, really cool. These still hold up. I still really like these. Very, very cool. This one makes me laugh so hard every time I see it because I didn't put any hair on it, so it just looks like a rock with a face. It makes me giggle. Minecraft-based drawing. This was a sketch for, like a concept sketch for the birthday card that I didn't end up going with. Bugs. More Minecraft bases. This is the one I'm currently working on. I just went back to an empty page to sketch something out. This is also Minecraft related. I cannot for the life of me remember which base or what the hell is going on here. Yeah, more Minecraft. I like to take pictures of other people's Minecraft builds and then draw them. And this one got turned into a full drawing as a birthday gift for my mom. Yeah, same concept, Minecraft build that I just drew. I couldn't tell you why the spread is empty. That's really weird. And that's probably the biggest thing that has changed over the duration of the sketchbook is how much I fill up each page. I was planning on cutting all of these out and putting them into my other sketchbook. That's why the backs of them are empty. But I drew all 3 of these on the beach while I was trying to escape my pollen allergies. I remember that. And this is Lavi, I think, from Guardian Tales. Generation Lost logo. Shout out Gen Losers. A bunch of thumbnails for paintings that I want to do. All 3 of these I did. This one I made a video about, and these 2 are physical paintings. And all 3 of these are together. 3 of these are inspired by Mitski songs. This one was also inspired by Mitski song. I forgot about that. This is a drawing of Mog Swamp's build in the museum build in 100 Days on Just Dirt. I remember that. I know what that is. Just a bunch of... That's scary. A bunch of doodles. I tried to also draw the portal gun. That did not go over well. This was sketched for one of the Beetle videos that I made. Trying to practice drawing faces. I think most of these are really cute. I especially like this one and that one, but it's just not how I want to draw faces, so it's not super helpful. Some weevils. These are very cute. I like these. And some more thumbnail sketching for some mini paintings I'm still planning on doing. And these were concept sketches for my profile picture that I still really want to do. It's basically, if you guys remember those, it was like scorpions enveloped in like hard candy, and people freaked out over them, and I kind of want to do that, draw that, and have that as my profile picture so it matches my name. I haven't figured out how to draw that yet, so. This was a drawing from a reference and then trying to stylize it. And I tried to redraw this in my other sketchbook, but I just got so caught up and nervous that it actually looks worse than this, which should have taught me something, but it didn't at the time. Still took a while to learn. More Minecraft bases. This one I really like the concept of, but it just never really went anywhere. Also inspired by Mog Swamp. This one I'm also still currently working on. It's slowed down a bit, but I have not abandoned it fully yet. This is my most recently abandoned build. It was inspired by DallasMed65 on YouTube, and also kind of inspired by the Winchester Mystery House of that lady who like kept expanding onto her house, like building more rooms and hallways and doors that led to nowhere and stuff like that, until literally she died to try to appease some ghosts or whatever. I like this concept. I also made the house orange, which made me very happy, and I do plan on returning to it someday. This was an octopus in like a hotel lobby suit thing that I saw in my dream, and I woke up and I just had to draw it because the idea of it in my dream was so amazing. The idea in reality was not so great. Some flowers. These are very cute. More concept sketches and stuff. This got made into a full drawing for my sister's birthday. And this concept I still really want to do. It's basically someone in their kitchen making tea, and then their farm animals in the back are being sucked up by aliens. Some box practice. I do actually do the practice that I tell other people to do. And this was really the big dividing moment for this sketchbook. So far, the 50 spreads we've just looked at took me 2 years to make, and the rest of this sketchbook took me just under 7 months. I wrote 6 months here because I can't count. I really wish I could remember what happened back in February, because there was this monumental shift in how I use my sketchbook, which is to say I barely used to use it at all. These were sketches for my Aoba video. I'm trying to figure out her hair, because it really truly makes zero sense. More boxes. This one's very cute. I tried making it into a digital piece, but it just didn't work out. Some sketches for some fridge magnets that I started, but I did not finish. And yeah, I left these sides blank. I left the back side of these pages blank because I still thought I was going to cut them out and glue them into my other sketchbook, because up until this point, like, nice pages that I liked and were proud of were really rare for me. But then I just kind of kept making pages that I liked, and I was like, well, I can't glue them all into my other sketchbook. That seems a bit silly. And then I just kind of kept drawing and had fun, God forbid. And this was the first page where I realized that if you just throw a bunch of shit on a page, you won't notice if some of the drawings are kind of shitty. Like, I drew this one first, and it's really, really bad, and I almost gave up on this page, but then I just kind of, like, kept drawing, and this one's also kind of wonky, but I just kept adding stuff, and then I looked at it at the end, and I was like, you barely noticed that this one is bad, and it was like a big eureka moment. These were concept sketches from our Guardian Tales drawings, just generally pose drawing, figure drawing. This day sucked. I hated that day. Nothing I did looked right, but I drew, and I was proud of myself for that. So more fundamentals, just a bunch of doodles. I really like this one. This one specifically is really cute. It's where I discovered my love for drawing flip phones. I just drew a bunch of the supplies that I have. These were drawings for one of my videos, I can't even remember which one anymore, where I talked too much and I didn't have enough footage, so I had to draw specifically to put in that video, and then I ended up drawing 3 pages that day. This was a warm-up page, so all of these drawings were really bad, because the first ones I drew that day, just a bunch of hair practice, figuring out that I can't draw straight hair. I still can't. I got really sick around here, and then I wasn't able to draw, and then I started getting a little bit better. I was still very, very sick, but then I just, like, drew daily, which was not something I did at that point. Like, that was a big moment for me to draw daily. Again, trying to draw the same face multiple times and making it look like the same person. I still can't. Yeah, trying to practice faces because I'm not very good at it. This page is probably my least favorite just because it's so empty, which I have learned over the span of the sketchbook is something that I hate. I hate when my pages are just empty. This was concept sketching for a drawing that I still really want to do, of like a Venus flytrap, and then the flower, they grow, because they grow like a stupidly tall stalk up to the flower, because otherwise they will eat the bees that come to pollinate them. So I think that's really funny. And then I started practicing drawing birds and herons, and this page looked really bad up until I added these darker defining lines, and then I was like, wait, this looks amazing. I drew this on a Discord call, and I was just having a bad time, really. This one's the only one that turned out, like, decent. Again, like, I hate this page. I hate how empty it is. I read Alice in Wonderland, like the original book with the original illustrations, and I got really obsessed with crosshatching. More crosshatching, trying to calculate if I could finish the sketchbook this year. I was kind of nervous that I wouldn't be able to. Like, my goal was just to finish the sketchbook this year. that was it, and I absolutely knocked that out of the park, which I'm super proud of. More building, sketching, really like that. Some scorpion, trying to figure out scorpion anatomy and stuff. Small sketches for like an animation that I still really want to do. A very cute character design. More head practice. Some leg practice. I saw someone on Twitter like break down the way they draw legs, and I tried to copy that because I really suck at drawing legs. More head practice. I was really cranking out these heads. I tried to study rotary phones for a digital drawing that I was making at the time, and it really helped me. The final drawing turned out super well. I'm very happy with it. I was really struggling around this time. You can tell by the amount of poses on the page that I just did not want to draw. More heads, and this is where I got utterly obsessed with Deltarune. Thankfully the obsession has faded just a tiny amount, but this was the first sign. I was like, I can draw Rouse once and like not be obsessed with Deltarune. Like, it's fine. It's never fine. The next page immediately is concept sketches for the thumbnail sketches for drawings. I still really want to do like almost all of these. More cross hatching. I was trying to figure out Susie, how to draw Susie. This did not help me figure it out. I have by now figured it out, but it was not, this page did not do it. I really like her laughing sprite. I think it's so fun. She's so intense when she laughs, and I love that. Very cute. I quite like this page. I started out really struggling and just like hating it, especially this pose, but now I really like it. More concept sketches. This one actually I did finish, made into an entire drawing, and tried to figure out how to draw pigeons. I cheated a lot by like tracing over the image, so I still need to figure out how to draw pigeons, because I would love to be able to draw pigeons. I think they're so fun, and I placed them really awkwardly on the page, so there weren't space for more pigeons, but also these corners were just really empty, so I just put in some flowers and took some notes. Started taking a lot of notes around this time. This one also struggled with a lot, but ultimately I think it's decent. Chris drawing that I don't like. Also don't like this one, but I like that I got the concept down on the page, because that helps me remember the idea better than just having a picture saved. I drew these with my brush pen, and I really like using it because you're so not in control of anything that's happening, which is good practice for me. I was trying to study faces and like trying to figure out how to stylize faces. These were not my first attempt. I did a bunch of digital attempts first. I was so sleepy during this. I just needed to get something on the page. I love that Bill Cipher's here. I drew him and I was like, why are you here? Like I felt like I was possessed by Bill Cipher just to put him on the page, and now he's here. More flip phones, really just going through it, honestly. Feeling a lot of fear of failure, and like paralysis because of it. So I tried to, some words of affirmation: you're not gonna fail as hard or as often as you think. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I drew and I was like, oh crap, that is in fact really bad. but then I was like, there's no consequence for this page being ugly. Like, nothing's going to happen because I made something that I don't like. And looking back on it, it's really not that bad. I think she has a cool energy. This is kind of weird what's going on over here, but overall it's really not. I was being a bit dramatic. And then I did some hand studies of my own hands. These are pictures that I took of my hands, and this was drawn from life. And some cat gestures. I remember exactly where I was sitting when I drew this, which is really fun. I really like these, except for the ones with the faces on it. Those are creepy and weird. I still cannot get over the fact that this took 20 seconds for me to draw. That's so wild to me. I wanted to do a painting inspired by the quote. I don't actually know where it's from, but not one sparrow can fall to the ground without your father knowing it, but the sparrow still falls. I'm not religious, but I really like religious imagery and blaming God for my problems. It's really fun. trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I realized that like the concept of just a sparrow falling down to its death or just dying midair is really fucking terrifying. So instead of this kind of peaceful pose, I wanted to be like crashing to the ground. So none of this is not going to be the final painting. And then I got some water-based markers because I wanted to see if I wanted to invest in that. And I think I do. I quite like these. I just don't really have enough colors to be able to do anything. And also this paper could not handle this. I was very afraid of ripping the paper. And this was, her hair was kind of inspired by Janice from Mean Girls, because I think about her hair at least like once a month, probably more. This was a drawing I made at like 10 p.m. because I wanted to go to sleep, but I realized I forgot to draw that day, so I just scribbled this out, and I really like it. I'm quite happy with it. And here I was just feeling terrible. I can't remember what happened around this time, but I just felt like shit, and I didn't feel like drawing. So this spans across like 4 days, just this one page. And then some flowers, more head practice. Then I went to a zoo, and I tried drawing animals from life. These ones were my favorite, absolutely. They're just really fun, something I haven't really drawn before. And they moved around a lot, but they like cycled through the same 5 poses or something. So they were relatively easy. Bunch of lizards that are not very great. And these were drawn from pictures that I took. And you can very much see the difference in detail, and which I think is super interesting. There was a sleeping giant anteater, and anteaters are one of my favorite animals, as I have discovered this summer, which is kind of funny because my other favorite animal is ants. So, and then I went to a different zoo, and I drew more animals from life, this time in pen. Really like this one, this is very fun. And then I drew these once again very late in the evening, because I forgot to draw. And I liked it. I love this page. This is so cool. And then I got really scared because I drew something so good, and I was like, oh my god, whatever I draw on the next page is gonna be like so lame in comparison. And I really struggle with that. So I just drew some more cat gestures. I did a lot of the same poses that I had done previously. And I was just being so hard on myself. This is really not that bad. Some more poses. I really liked the shape of this, and I wanted to and I tried to exaggerate those shapes on the next page, and it's just not really good. I don't like this page. I think I was just really frustrated this day, because then I tried to draw some faces, and that also was just really bad, and I was just feeling really, really frustrated, and even more so when I then drew a face without a reference, and it turned out better than any of the ones with a reference, so that pissed me off. But this page can really just be summed up with the note, it's fine, I guess, it's just not really anything. I like this pose, though. This one's cool. I was watching a sketchbook tour by Sophie McPike, and she had these really cool trees, and I wanted to try to do that. It looked really good in her sketchbook. It just not look good in mine. More poses. I just feel so frustrated when I draw, but all I want to do is draw. It's a struggle. But I was slowly but surely shaking off the cobwebs, and starting to feel better about myself. And then I did some quilt-inspired drawings. Were just really fun. I really like doing these, and I want to carry this with me on into my next sketchbook. Some more poses. Trying to practice side profiles, because I am not very good at them. I figured out I don't make the nose like stick out enough. I would think that's my problem. But yeah, overall pretty good compared to what has been. Like if you look at this one back in February, it's gotten better. I'm working on it. Tried to do some figure drawings in pen. Not great. And then it was actually just practicing side profiles, but I like doing this where you have like this extravagant hair, because then it seems like the point of the page is all this beautiful hair, and then people kind of ignore the wonky side profile. Life hack for you. Then I'd use some more animals, I figured out by going to all those zoos that I really like drawing animals, which was a really fun thing to discover about myself. I drew a bunch of mice, and then I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I drew more mice on the other page, like different mice? Yeah. This one's just kind of lame. Like, they're not bad, but it's kind of just not really anything. This one is my personal mouse that I own. I drew it. I just placed it on my desk in front of me, and I drew it. I went to the beach, drew some landscape. I was actually planning on drawing more landscapes under it, but then I couldn't figure out what I wanted to draw, so I just drew some faces. And then more poses where I was even more frustrated, and I ended up rage quitting on August 18th. And then I didn't feel like drawing at all on August 19th, so I just drew one pose and then said, good night, I'm going back to bed. And on August 20th, I came back full force with more poses, and pretty much all of these are using like Greek statues as reference. They're really, really good. They're very fun and to use as references. More face and side profile practice. They're not bad. I don't mind them. Once again, like kind of struggling to make the faces look like the same person. This one kind of reminds me of Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, and that's really funny to me. Did not do it on purpose. Some hair studies again, because I did not feel like drawing. This one is very fun. This one's very cute. I like the snail the best, but I also like the shading that I did on the centipede. Or is it a millipede? I don't know. Buildings with like a kind of a scratchy, almost abstract technique. Very, very fun. Also drew this in the evening in bed when I forgot to draw. Did I forget to draw? Yeah, I forgot to draw that day. And then I tried to do the same thing the next day with pen, and that just really sucked ass. And then I tried to draw some fish, and that sucked even worse, and then I was really frustrated and I went to bed. Flowers, this was also just kind of like drawing while watching a movie or something, to keep my hands moving and not be so bored. And then I got really sick again. I'm still recovering from that sickness. I still have a slight fever. But yeah, this one turned out pretty cute, and then I drew a crab saying happy birthday, and then the next day I went in and drew these flowers. I've started doing this technique where I draw something and then I draw like a second line around it, also to like draw the eye towards that, and it's really I really like the way it looks. Then I drew some I don't know what this is, and I kind of hate this. The colors just really clash, in my opinion. And then I drew some flowers and some also don't know what this is. It's really funny because my mom is really into flowers, so I will like find pictures of flowers and that I think look nice, and then I draw them, and then I come to her like, what flower is this, do you know? And she's like, yeah, this is this and this. So far I don't think I've drawn a single flower that she has not been able to identify, which is very impressive. But no, this is cute. This is fun. I just needed some color in my life. Oh yeah, I drew this while watching Descendants. I forgot about that. And I really like this one with the whole shape of it and the very like saturated teal background. Very fun. This one I drew while watching Descendants 2. And this one I was really frustrated about. Felt like it just was really bad while I was sketching it. But I feel like I saved it with the line art. It's pretty cute. I did consider adding color to it, but then I kind of just decided against it. I drew some peas with my brush pen. I should use that more. I keep forgetting that I have it, but it's a really intimidating pen to use. Again, because you really don't have that much control over it. So you kind of have to let go of that perfectionism, because you really don't know like where the line's going to be or how thick it's going to be or anything like that. You really just have to go with the flow. And I'm not very good at that. This one took a really long time, and I don't even like it that much. It's very colorful, which is nice, but it's also just not really anything. And then we have the final spread. I wanted to make a drawing that spanned across the whole spread, and then I had this idea, but then this corner ended up just feeling very empty, so I decided to just put a quote there. I love me a good quote. And I ended up picking one that's kind of related to what this sketchbook has taught me. No amount of waiting will make you brave, and no amount of fear will keep you safe. You know, the reason the first half of the sketchbook took me like 2 years was because I was afraid of making something bad. And as soon as I stopped being afraid of that, I drew so much more. And yeah, I made some bad stuff, but by taking the risk of making something bad, I also gave myself the chance to make something good. And, you know, stuff that I'm still really proud of. And yeah, it just felt thematically appropriate. This entire quote is something I really had to take to heart this whole year, basically. So yeah, it felt right. I wish I used orange for the text because I like orange. And I also wish I had drawn out September 2nd with a pencil first, like I did with 2025, because this looks really wonky, but you know, that's okay. And then I've made a page of what I've learned and a bunch of swatches, and the rest of this is just alcohol marker bleed through. But yeah, this is basically just a bunch of notes on what I've learned through the sketchbook. You know, what I like, what I don't like, some words of affirmation. Don't give up when you make mistakes. Don't cut out or cover pages, because I used to do that a lot and it's just not very helpful. It really activates that critical part of your brain when you give yourself that option, instead of being like, there is no consequence to this page being bad, you just flip the page. Which is one of the reasons why I really like sketchbooks, is because it feels less definitive. Like it's not one piece of paper that you're quote unquote wasting. It's an entire sketchbook, and you get to try again and again and again and again. And there's no consequence to it being bad, because it's one page out of several hundreds of pages. If you make one bad page, who cares? You just turn the page and boom, it's gone, you know? In theory, you never have to look back upon it. Like, you quite literally don't have to look back on any of the drawings you made in a sketchbook. But yeah, I'm excited to keep up with my daily drawing practice. I'm at 61 days, but I am gonna switch it up a bit, because so far I've been trying to draw an entire page a day to try and get this sketchbook finished by September. So I could say that this sketchbook took me exactly 3 years to finish. And that did add a bit of stress on the days where I was tired or sick. Oh my god, I've gotten sick so many times this year. But going forwards, it's really just going to be about just drawing daily, even just a small doodle, just to keep up with the habit. Drawing daily has really been helpful for me. I know for a lot of people it causes burnout, and I've definitely been able to feel a bit of that burnout here towards the end. But for me, the good definitely outweighs the bad. By drawing every day, I am reminded that I actually do like drawing. If I don't force myself to engage in my hobbies, I will just forget that I like doing it, because doing nothing will always be easier than doing something. So I will subconsciously convince myself that because it's easier to not draw, that means I actually don't really like drawing. And by forcing myself to draw at least once a day helps me to remember that, wait, no, I actually do like the hobby that I've had my entire life. Who could have seen this coming? But that's me, you know. If you don't like drawing every day, or if you burn out from it, that's you. I know there are a lot of videos on the internet framed like, the only way to improve is to draw daily. But you know, a lot of that's clickbait, and in my experience, when you actually watch the video, it's a lot more nuanced than that. I think a lot of it also comes from the pressure you put on yourself, and the pressure you feel from comparing yourself to others. You know, these people are just offering their 2 cents, what helps them. But ultimately, if that doesn't work for you, you don't have to listen to those people. You don't have to listen to people on the internet. I promise you'll be fine if you don't draw every day, or whatever other tips you've gotten thrown in your face like it's life or death. But that's it. The journey's over. Now this sketchbook can be put in a box and be looked at every couple of years. Remind me who I was, where I was, and what I've learned.